Lisa and Robyn are two fun friends diving deep into conversations where nothing is taboo. They believe in eating dessert before dinner and wearing the bikini. They're allergic to labels, authority, and cheap shoes. Currently, they're launching themselves through life being the good time, bold enough to take risks and inquisitively asking, what's next? They hail from New Hampshire, but they could be anywhere dressed in cute clothes. If they had to share a tombstone, it would read, "Curiosity killed these cats." Your hosts, Lisa and Robyn on the mic.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Lisa and Robyn on the mic. You are listening on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can watch, stream, and listen on WSMN.live and YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify. We are talking about movies that impacted us, old and young.
Yep, movies and shows.
I wanted to ask you.
We kind of diverged a little bit on reality TV.
And I don't like the fact that reality TV took over TV.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody just ran out of stuff to, I don't know.
I go to the bookstore and there's a million new... If you go and there's a million shows produced. That's why I liked that Netflix and all of these series started taking things and making it a series because there are so many stories. I loved Big Little Lies. I loved Yellowstone. Yellowstone's going to be coming out with its last little...
Oh, God, I love Yellowstone.
So to me, Yellowstone was a great series. And I loved that the opening scene for Kevin Costner's character, which I cannot remember what his name... Dutton. Frank Dutton? Dutton? Something Dutton?
Oh, God. I don't know. We're so terrible.
So I love the first scene is... when there's a truck tipped over and there's a horse trailer tipped over and he says, "I would rather kill 1,000 more men. I would rather kill 1,000 men than one more horse." John Dutton. And you knew exactly who John Dutton was.
Yes.
You knew his entire life up until that point. I was just, that first line in that scene, which was a horrible scene, you open with that, I'm like, man, I'm going to love this series.
Yes. You're like, oh, I love these. And there's a couple, I wish we could find it. Slow Horses is a good one, too. That's a good series. And I can't remember if it's Netflix. One of them have started putting out, it might be Prime. They've started putting out some Harlan Coben. He's an author, and they have made some of his like in a little short series, like a, what do you call it, limited series or something like that. So before we get off, I want to finish what we're talking about reality shows.
Yes.
I had never seen it before, and we're sitting around the dinner table. This is years ago. And Chris was talking about Naked and Afraid, and he's like, I want to do it. I think I could do it. And I'm like, well, you should sign up. I've never seen it. And like, we should, he was like, we can watch it. And I'm like, what do you do? Like, how many people are you, is it a tribe, all this stuff? Anyway, he's talking about it. And I'm like, well, I think you should do it. You should definitely sign up for it. And my son just looks over and he's like, your training starts now. Can you just imagine? So we watched it. We didn't watch it then, but we just watched Alone.
Okay.
I think Alone is another one of those series. And we started watching it because one of the kids' teachers from high school got picked to go on Alone. So I'm like, all right, well, let's go see what this is about. So, they're living in the woods, and some of it's like British Columbia, and they're wherever. They're all different places. And you're literally like just plopped out there you'll have limited supplies. You don't have to be naked. And I'm like, oh, I could do that. And until nightfall. But then you like day after day, like it's just so silent and just seeing their struggle. Like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I think I could do it. And Chris is like, yeah, you think you could do it until the boat leaves. And then I've seen him like standing on the shore. I was like, well, I thought I could at least make it until nightfall. And then, like, what would I do? Because I could be busy, like, I'm putting my shelter together. But then, like, the reality would set in. Like, what am I really going to do? I'm like, I'm out here by myself. Like, It's going to take a while for somebody to come actually get me.
Right.
I'm not a good climber, so I don't know.
If I have to make fire from 2 sticks, I'm out.
Yeah. I don't know if you get flint. I don't know if you can get flint, but
give me matches. I'm okay.
Trying to find water, and they were setting up these. Some people were like this one guy killed a deer, and he built a smoking shed, a smoker room or something like that, and he was drying out all this meats and
See, I'm domesticated.
like
That's a big thing for me. You
like
know, could I do it
berries.
if for my survival? Could maybe I'm not killing a deer. I'll tell you that much because I can't catch it. I
Yeah.
haven't practiced a bow and arrow. I would have to practice
Oh,
bow
they
and
make
arrowing.
rabbit traps, but like I don't think I could actually skin a rabbit.
You'd figure it out. If you were starving, you would figure it out. But I could do a turkey. Like there's certain things I could do easier than others. I think I could kill birds easier than fish. I could
Yeah.
definitely kill a fish.
Yeah.
But
I'm just not a big fish person, so I was like, well,
right. If
but
I
I guess if you could do it, like if you could smoke it, or I don't know.
everything is
Find
good when
some
you
kinda
low and slow it in a sauce.
Yes.
You chicken
Yeah.
stock it. You tomato paste it. You
Or
garlic
you smoke it. Like I could see like a smoked fish, something
I've never smoked.
like a jerky or something.
Yeah, like I've never smoked food.
I could make. I could probably eat the jerky.
So I think anything disintegrated 3.5 hours in a 350-degree oven in a Dutch oven with sauce,
That is true.
you can do anything to that.
Where are you
'Cause
gonna get your sauce?
You're gonna make chicken stock. I mean, this is what I mean.
I
I'm not a
sure- well, if you find a
survivalist.
turkey, but
Not a survivalist.
well, they did
I've got
this.
sparrows
They
in a
did this.
pot.
Yes, I'm just a different kind of survivalist.
I'm not that.
I can get my way around town like nobody's business.
Right. As
I
long
can.
as it's a
I can make a
supermarket, I can
great
survive.
meal out of whatever's in my refrigerator. If somebody said go,
Right.
I think I could make a pretty banging meal.
From whatever's in your fridge.
Yes.
This is why people joke around, but this is why, I married who I married. You've got to go find and kill the thing. I will
Yeah.
take care of other things, but
Yes.
this is your thing.
I'll jazz it up for you, but you bring it home.
I'll make it tall. We can eat it. We'll be able to eat it. We'll be able to tolerate eating it, but you've got to go find it and kill it.
Yes. Yes.
That's why you have big wrists and big thighs. Go march across the land.
Big broad
Go
shoulders.
hump it back. Have you ever, when you learn what those people do when they go, I mean, some people do it with crossbows, some people do it with guns. It doesn't matter. They hike out for however long. They literally dismember an elk or a deer or a moose or something, and then they hump it. Hundreds of pounds of meats. They hump
Yes.
back. Like
Yes.
that's why you get the big
See,
guy.
I'd build a sled. I'd build some kind of like a sled, and you just pull it.
We would have to figure something out, but I'm not in that.
Yes.
Please don't have an apocalyptic. That's
Then
why I
you've
don't like
got to do it, but you've got to you've got to gut your animal, and you've got to get the organs out of it,
and then
at a certain
fight off
time,
animals
and-
trying to take
yes.
it from you. I'm sure
God.
you smell like meat for a while,
This
right?
guy was like in a lean-to tarp, like he was in between two trees, a stick, and his tarp was over it. And they have these. They had like, is it? I don't. Was it a bear or was it a mountain lion? It was one of. It was just a. It was a big predator animal, and it's like sniffing at his tent. And I'm like, I am out. I'm out.
That's why whenever you talk about the reason why I am based in how I feel about society and government and all of that is based on history, right? What happened in history. I've read
Right.
a lot of books. And all of the books that boil down to when a government starves its people or when they're using that, think of communism in Russia, Stalin, think of that.
Mm-hmm.
They turn to cannibalism because they're not going to find the deer.
Right.
Or they're not going to do
Right.
whatever. And they turn to cannibalism. And that's why Silence of the Lambs was always so frightening.
Yes.
That's why the zombie is our fear of being eaten.
Yes.
That's where, for us to become the prey, that is what that underlying, The Walking Dead I thought was a good series for like series 1, but how many seasons can we see of that?
Well, yeah, I think the first 3 seasons, at the first 4 couple of seasons, but towards the end, like I don't even think we finished watching like the last, after Rick died. I think we were done. And
Yeah.
but up until the point where Rick died, it was going. But man, when the first series, and then they went to the farmhouse, and then the prison.
But
and
when
they
we
lived
get
in the
to, when I
prison.
saw that series, whenever it came like, okay, now we have this small group and they have that small group, I would always be the person, and it comes from a position of weakness that I think this, and I know this about myself, is if you're too threatening and there's no rule of law and it's me or you, I'm going to kill you. I don't feel like I have good negotiating skills. You know, if I think that there's 10 of you in your tribe and you're starving and you've been walking across 3 states and you haven't had anything to eat, and the zombies have been chasing you, and you come upon me and my 6 people, you and I are one of them, right?
Yeah.
And we got some other people. Should we let this group in that have been starving, whatever? In my head, I'm going, probably not, because there's 10 of us and 10 of them and 6 of us, and we're going to get raped and eaten. And, like, just don't want this. So I have this.
Well, but that's your, like, but if they come in and
because I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Right? Whenever the series would come on, they'd be like, should they let these people in? And I'm yelling from the couch, no. And then they get attacked and like, what did I say?
I told you.
It's the same thing with aliens. When the first alien, they go out and they look into the egg, and the egg jumps up and leaps on his face.
Right.
And they say he gets quarantined because we don't know what that is.
Right. And don't let him out.
Ripley's character says, we have quarantine for a reason. And nope, what do? They let him in, and he takes over and eats everyone else.
Well, that was
Ripley
like Jurassic Park. You know, like, why would you have to take the egg? What do you think's going to happen?
What do you think is going to happen?
You're going to have to spread it.
But it's like, if you live by these, and I know that whenever we're watching these type of apocalyptic things, and I always think it's always from a position of fear. It's because I don't feel powerful. I don't feel...
Well, it's even like horror movies, too. Like, don't go find the noise.
Yeah, don't go find the noise. Leave the house.
Or hunker down and prepare yourself. Like,
hide in a corner.
Put yourself in a position where you're going to take them out the minute they open the door.
Yeah, and I think...
Shots fired, like, no questions asked. Don't even blink. Don't hesitate.
And I remember I was talking to someone, and they were a guy, and I said, well, of course you don't think that. You're not the one getting raped, beaten, and eaten, and enslaved.
Right. I'm not going to go find that noise. You're going to come to me.
Look at history. Yeah, you're going to have to find me. I'm going to be here with my back against a wall.
Right.
And it comes from, it's all joking aside and everything, but I always think, well, I would never be in this scenario.
But maybe it's because that's the difference between, like, male and female. Maybe it's the, we have to plan and strategize and prepare because we don't have the brute strength to go find that noise.
And I think there's always the raping that goes along with it too.
Yeah.
It's always like whatever and raped.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I avoid this scenario?
Yes. So Vikings, did you watch Vikings?
No, because what is there? Raping and pillaging. But I heard a great joke. I heard a comedian.
Yeah, they had a good. It's a good
series.
Oh, I love. Yes, I love the characters.
Okay, so there's a great joke about it where the guy says, "Oh, with all the raping and pillaging," and the guy goes, "Well, they're in town for one day."
Just here for one day.
He's just here for one day. What are they gonna? Hey, would you like to go on a date and get to know each other? Like, they're here for one day.
Right.
But I just thought that was funny.
Yes. I told you. After watching that, I was like, I don't know. I like Valhalla. I love. Their community, their loyalty, their. What they do is outside of it. I think a good character development was really good.
Okay.
I also think Game of Thrones was really good.
Yes, Game of Thrones.
I kind of feel like at the very last end of it kind of like...
Well, actually, I didn't see the movie or the series. I just read the book.
We didn't... I feel like the last season was kind of like...
They gave up.
Yeah. But I like character development, storyline. Well done.
Have you seen Kill Bill?
I don't think so. Is that
Beatrice?
Billy Bob Thornton?
No.
Oh.
No, that is David Cassidy. No, not David Cassidy. Oh, we're so funny. I love how we...
Quentin Bill.
Kill Bill is Quentin Tarantino. Oh. You've never seen Kill Bill? We have to watch Kill Bill.
Oh my God! Every time Quentin Tarantino said, Chris is like, oh my God, he has good movies.
So it's Uma Thurman and David Carradine, not Cassidy, Carradine. Oh. So he is the guy who was in all the old Kung Fu movies.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
no,
and then,
I've never seen it.
So it's a play, it's an action thriller on the play of playing up, the warrior story from the Kung Fu. And Beatrice is the character, and she is an assassin, a very capable assassin, and she's an assassin for Bill.
Yep.
And she's in a relationship with him, and she's finds out she's pregnant. Oh. So she realizes, I can't bring a baby into this world. and goes missing. So he thinks she's dead. So he goes to avenge her death and find out she's alive, pregnant, getting married to another guy. So he kills her, but he doesn't kill her, and that's the story.
All right, I gotta watch it.
And because she wakes up from her coma, and she's like, "I am going to kill Bill," and that's the series.
Oh,
Kill Bill's great.
all right, I gotta watch that.
And it's like overly done kung fu. It's an homage to kung fu movies and that genre. And Uma Thurman's an amazing female action hero character, and she the fight scenes are amazing. Some great female fight scenes. Like there's her handle is Black Mamba.
Black Mamba.
And there's a scene where Vivian Fox, she's like, I should have been Black Mama. She's all like, nyam, nyam, nyam. And so she's like, girl, we're going to have a knife fight.
Knife fight.
And they end up not having a knife fight later. They plan, because they're two assassins. Like, we're going to do this old school. We're going to meet at the baseball park, dressed all in black. We're going to have ourselves our fight, And they end up having a fight in the house. And then who's the other blonde one? I've got my little thing up. Hold on one second. I've got my cast members up. Why isn't Daryl Hannah is the other one. And those two have a great fight scene because they're both tall, lanky, and long. And they have the same blonde. And they have the same kick reach. They have the same arm reach. And they're fighting in a trailer.
Oh, my gosh.
Great.
All right, I got to watch that.
Okay. Maybe we should watch it together.
Yes.
Okay, we'll watch it together.
I love that. I like that idea.
And we'll make popcorn.
So I thought John Wick was good.
I like John Wick.
Some of the fight scenes, I thought that was really good.
Were you ever a Big Lebowski person? That was kind of a cult movie.
I don't think that doesn't sound familiar.
Okay, that was. What about Predator? Predator was one of my favorite movies.
So some of mine on my list, I have Ocean's 11.
Okay,
they did. It's Brad Pitt and
didn't see it.
George Clooney, like all of them. They go heist a bank. Like they're gonna take out The Blind Side with Sandra Bullock.
Didn't see it.
She adopts a homeless kid. They're like, it's Georgia or those are those
football.
Yes, those.
Dexter.
So, I watched Dexter for a while, and then it's like it's the same thing over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's constantly trying to hide,
Yeah.
I get tired of seeing the trash bags and the bodies and like the creative
So
ways.
the first
like,
2 or 3 seasons, I was enthralled. I loved the idea of a serial killer killing serial killers.
Yes,
I loved that. And then it did become
it's just
overdone.
Remember the Titans?
Didn't see it.
So those were, again, that was about football.
Jurassic Park. I love Jurassic Park.
It's okay. See, it's okay. Like I don't.
The first one I liked.
Gravitate towards that. Yeah, and I'm like I'd watch it. Like my mom and my son would watch them. But again, I'm not into that kind of sci-fi.
So what about this series? One of my favorite series, X-Files.
I've never watched the X-Files. I never watched it.
Oh my God, Conspiracy Theory Central.
All right, I'll have to check that out.
I have the DVDs.
Radio with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Okay, never saw it.
That's again that was like a football. Those are those feel good movies, like inspiring. That's the ones like those left an impact because that's when I was watching a lot of those with the kids. And those are like if it actually left an impact for me to watch. That was the beginning of me watching a show, asking myself, what's the message? What's the story? Instead of just from an entertainment purpose. And I'm
okay, so then I have a movie for you based on what's the story, what's the purpose.
Okay.
Gone Baby Gone.
Gone Baby Gone. I think I've watched it, but
It is about a missing girl.
Oh no.
Ben Affleck produced it or directed it, and what's his brother's name? Casey Affleck is the main character. And it is a little girl goes missing in Boston. And
she's not the one that's buried in the backyard.
She's not dead. Or
okay, don't tell me. Don't tell me. All right, Gone Baby. Gone Baby Gone.
Gone Baby Gone.
Because there was either like Gone
We'll have to
Girl.
watch that. We have to watch that together. Gone Girl's another one. That's a good movie. That was a great book. But this is
Because I think I watched. Is that not the one that she's buried like in the field between her house and the school?
no.
That's
Bones. Lovely
something-
Bones.
Lovely Bone. Yeah, I don't want to watch that. The girl with the dragon tattoo. That was a good.
Yep.
I thought that was good.
Did you see? These are younger. When we're younger, did you ever watch the Pink Panther series?
Yes, I loved Pink Panther. I loved Pink Panther.
Because I love most of my adult life, whenever something's happening and I'm like bumbling something where I'm banging into stuff or dropping stuff, I always think
Yes.
of that character.
Yes.
And I laugh at myself.
Yes.
So when I don't laugh at myself when that's happening, I know I'm in a bad mood.
I love when
No.
Steve Martin does it too.
Yes.
He's very cute.
One of my favorite movies of Steve Martin is All of Me with Lily Tomlin.
Oh, yes. Gosh.
And he
I
gets-
haven't seen that.
So the story is he is the lawyer, and Lily Tomlin's been a sick child. She's going to die, and she believes in reincarnation. So she convinces her, someone who works for her's daughter, to let her go in her body because she's healthy and she's always watched her run around. And then she's going to come back and live in her rich life. And no one thinks it's true, that you're not going to reincarnate. And she ends up in Steve Martin's body. And then they're trying to get her in the right body.
Yeah.
So Steve Martin is playing Lily Tomlin, occupying half of him.
Yes.
It's such a great movie. And it's
Yes.
old, like from the 70s.
Yes.
Such a great movie.
Yes.
It's hilarious. Watching him learn to walk with her in him. And so she's narrating, okay, the left foot, now the right foot, now me, now you, now me. And because she's been bedridden her whole life, everything is novel and new to her.
Yeah.
So driving the car, oh, isn't this fun? And she's like braking and gassing and braking and gassing and lurching around the street. There's so many great scenes in that movie.
So growing up, that just reminded me of growing up. So we didn't watch a lot of movies, but I was just thinking how different types of personalities. My sister used to love Fantasy Island and The Love Boat. And she would like bribe me to watch it with her. Like just because it's not my thing. Like, I hated Fantasy Island. And it might have been cute way back then, but I don't know.
And that was an adult series and we were
Yes.
kids.
Yes.
So it was like, what is my fantasy? I don't want to go to school tomorrow. That's my fantasy.
Yeah.
So I don't
So
have to do homework.
my
I want
show,
money.
like my show that I would watch by myself if I had my choice, I watched Chips.
Okay.
That was Cop.
Yeah.
I think they were on their bikes.
Their motorcycles.
Yes. And then there was like Emergency 911 or something like that one. But my all-time favorite was Dukes of Hazzard.
Yep. I used to like Dukes of Hazzard.
I was like, so if it was Dukes or Hazzard or Love Boat, and I was like, I'm definitely a tomboy. Those are the things that I'm like, oh yeah, because I could get into that, pictured that. Like I always wanted, who didn't want to be Daisy, but it was that little bit of rebellion and like that spoke to me more than it did like the mushy drama romance on Love Boat.
One of the things that I think is so interesting is I didn't really like love stories back then.
I didn't either.
And I think it's because that wasn't mirroring what was happening in real life at all.
Yes.
In my world.
Yes.
Teenage boys weren't these romantic things.
Yes.
So even 16 Candles, remember 16 Candles?
Yes.
Where
To me, that feel like that's a depressing movie. It was
It's a funny movie because remember,
Yes.
don't wait, no more Yankee my wanky, the donger need food.
Yes.
Like that's the he's on the exercise bike with her. Like to me, that's that
Yes,
movie is that
yes,
one
yes.
scene. But I think back to boys weren't acting like that, so then those movies seemed so far fetched.
And I don't think that we didn't have that mirrored in our. That wasn't mirrored in our house, in our
That
our
was not
family,
mirrored in our house.
or. And it's just in a time that you're not thinking about that. And I was like, I remember watching Love Boat, and there's always some kind of drama. There's always some kind of love drama. Like that hurts your heart. So I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that.
And
I'd
it's-
rather go get dirty and race cars and
So for a while, I didn't even want to watch the Brady Bunch because I was annoyed, even then as a kid, that their whole life was wrapped up in a half an hour, and I felt like my adults the lives of everyone around me. Nothing's getting wrapped up. No one's fixing everything, and the two parents are arm in arm, and it was just I hated that that lack of reality to it. But then you go reality, well, then you should like reality TV. But I don't like reality because that is also a lack of reality.
Oh, and it's so far over. Like, you think about The Bachelor, and like now everything's reality. Like, oh, let's make a show out of that.
And to me, I don't understand how, like, wife swap. And I know they're television shows.
I totally forgot about that. Yes.
I don't understand how. What does this say about us as a society?
Can you have sex on wife swap? Like, what if you do?
I have no idea. Am I just supposed to do your laundry of your crappy underwear and make you food? I don't understand what that. And again,
dude, we're not swapping. If your house is dirtier than mine and I've got more responsibility to do, we're not swapping.
But that's the thing, is you're supposed to appreciate your spouse. I think that's the point of it. You're supposed to appreciate your spouse. But what does it say as a society if our art and our movies and our shows are supposed to be a mirror of our culture or give, lend something to our culture? I think, what does that say about our culture?
Well, but that goes back to, like, we're into instant gratification. Instant gratification, and you can find, you get to create, like, The Bachelor. I mean, one of the reality shows that I like, and I know it's fabricated, probably out the yin yang, but it's something that my daughter and I watch together. It's Selling Sunsets. It's real estate out in, LA, and they're in Beverly Hills, and it's like these people have, like, they're trying to sell $30 million homes, and the cars and the outfits and the shoes and all the Botox and all the glamour, and, like,
it's a spectacle.
Yes, but it's just like, there's a little bit of, like, wow, it's over the top, it's ridiculous, but, like, I like it.
Yeah.
And it's drama. There's drama, but I love seeing the houses. Mm-hmm. And I think to me, it helps me expand my mind about saying, like, wow, look at the way other people live. Or, like, I know some of it's unrealistic. It's probably like 0.03% of the world that live that way. But I don't know. Why not? I think you should you should be ridiculous.
Right, to aspire to something. I saw a show where, and I can't remember the name of it, and I watched maybe 3 episodes, and I was like, all right, this is the same thing. I wish they could make it a little bit different. But it was interior designers following their interior designers for their life. And it was always the same thing. It was always the last day the people were coming and showing up, and none of the work was done.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, all right, guys.
Love It or List It.
I do actually like Love It or List It.
It was cute.
I think that's the most realistic thing. Can you find what you want out there, or can you make what you have worthwhile? Yes. And I did actually like that show. I've seen maybe 10 episodes of it, and I thought, well, this is the most realistic piece of it. Where the two of them are competing for. She always does an amazing job on the houses.
Yes, yes.
And he always does an amazing job trying to find the houses.
Yes.
With the inventory that there is. But the interior design show, I wanted them more to show. Interior design is fascinating. I wanted to show more of the meanings about what is this person looking for. But it was always the woman saying, if you want me to do it, I have to do it by myself.
Yes.
It's like, well, this person lives here. Can this person have some conversation about, I know you're hiring them because they do a great job, but you want to be comfortable in your own house. You want it to reflect a little bit of you. So that's the part that I thought was missing from that one.
But do they do it and they just don't share that part of it?
I'm hoping. Have you ever seen Death at a Funeral?
No.
Great movie. It's about a guy dies. So the dad's dead, and it's the funeral, and they discover something about the dad.
Death and a Funeral.
Death at a Funeral.
Death
and it's
funeral.
British. They remade one in America. It's probably not as funny. But Death at a Funeral is great. Let's see what else. A Fish Called Wanda. Do you remember A Fish Called Wanda?
Yes, I do remember that.
I loved A Fish Called Wanda.
Gosh, that was that's old.
Yeah, I was trying to think of, like, movies that shaped me. That was a movie I watched as a teenager.
Wasn't she the mermaid? What's the one that's the mermaid and comes to shore, like in New York City? And
with Daryl Hannah.
Yeah.
And Tom Hanks.
Splash.
Wow.
No. I don't even know how I even came up with that out of my...
Right, good job.
I know, right?
So A Fish Called Wanda is a heist where an American woman, which is Jamie Lee Curtis, brings her American brother, I'm putting that in quotation marks, and she works with a guy to steal diamonds. And she turns over the guy who steals the diamonds right away, so her and her brother, who's her boyfriend, can take the diamonds, but it doesn't go as planned. And so that's the story. And I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Monty Python. I was really influenced by Holy Grail growing up and The Life of Brian growing up. And then at some point we have to talk about music. It's supposed to be music and
it
movies.
Might be another time.
Then we'll have to do that another time. But so Monty Python and the Holy Grail and Flying Circus, I always liked that really British humor and that type of thing. And John Cleese was in this as well as one of the other guys, and they kind of made it an American spin-off. But it was kind of making fun of American. It was kind of making fun of British stiff upper lip, and it's just a really great little show.
Do you think that we like certain movies, or we're drawn to certain movies because we see a reflection?
No, because I think I love Kill Bill, and there's no reflection of me in that. I loved Platoon. There was no reflection of me.
No, but not necessarily of that, but of what the story, what the director's trying to tell you, whether it's overcoming. So like Kill Bill, or so not. It's like a. I mean, we were talking about horror movies like Friday the 13th and all that stuff, but do you see it's something that we resonate with? It's something that we resonate with, something that we see within ourselves, or do you think that we're most likely we're just watching it for entertainment purposes? Like what decides what's a good movie and a bad movie?
Okay, so there's the idea, whether you write a book or you write a movie, that there are only 7 plots. So there's boy meets girl, the hero's journey, boy meets girl, loses girl, boy gets girls. So I'm trying to look up what the actual 7 plots are. Let's see.
Right, so it kind of makes you think of like, do we actually ever have our own real thought? Do we actually have a new thought?
Rags to Riches is Cinderella, The Quest, King Solomon's Mines, The Voyage, and The Return, a comedy, a tragedy, and The Rebirth. Boy Meets Girl is 1, 2.
Yeah.
And then someone say, but there's actually 36 basic plots, or 7 structures. But going back to what you're saying is, every story is some variation, and the more stories we have, the more stories are going to be influenced by the stories that came before it. So, for example, when I read Twilight, when my niece was reading Twilight, I'm like, let me read this and see what this is. I said, oh, this is just Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
It's just Romeo and Juliet.
Right.
When that's why Harry Potter was a little different. Like, I like when they take the same thing and reinvent it in a way.
Yes.
But I think there's only so many stories to tell. And that's why I think when you have something that has a good twist or a different change, that's what makes it so interesting. Is like we don't see that repeated over and over again. So, for example, I think the reason why I don't like the Avengers series is, it's an action movie, great, but what's the story?
See, I like Iron Man. I don't know if he's part of the...
Yes.
I love Iron Man because I love... He just does such a great job playing that character in just the... So it's not even really about him and his fight. It's about the story that's underneath it is what I like. And I think that,
But I think we get 1 or 2 movies and it's good. But 6 of them?
Yes. I mean, yeah, individually. So during COVID, we did the whole series. We did the in chronological order, or like trying to watch them in the chronological order. Iron Man by far was my favorite.
Yes, I do agree. I like Iron Man. I do like Iron Man.
But other than that, I was like, it's not good. And then I think the ones that they've come out with now lately are like, ugh.
Yeah, like even John Wick 4 might have been 1 too many.
Yes. But is 4 the one where they're dancing in the, they're fighting in the like the antique shop, and they're going down and breaking all the glass cases.
Yes.
Like some of the fighting in that was
fantastic.
amazing. I just, the storyline
and inventive.
Just went, yeah,
because it's the same storyline. I mean,
yes,
he avenged the wife, and now here we are. So Indiana Jones.
Oh yes, I remember as a kid.
And
Indiana
Star
Jones,
Wars,
yes.
those, you know.
See, I was never a big Star Wars fan.
I liked the first 3. I think maybe I have 3 in me. You know, you have the Ark, the Fall, and the Ark again. So I think, you know,
I think Star Wars was probably one of the first movies I saw in the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm a girl. I was a girl, and I didn't grow up around a lot of guys.
Yeah.
So a lot of that stuff is like, I'm watching it. I'm watching it for the entertainment purposes. It's not absorbing the story underneath is not absorbing.
Well, that's against, you know, that's an overcoming story. And just like Indiana Jones is the quest story, the quest. What are you seeking?
It's all about, it's just like when you're having a conversation, somebody can say something and they say it a certain way, and another person can say it a different way, and it creates massive impact in you. So it's all in what you hear, feel, or shaped by. And I feel like that's what Chris has given to me, a gift that's given to me, because I feel like I always have so many browsers open in my brain, and I would just use TV for entertainment purposes to numb out, whether I kept it or not. Like, I wouldn't remember it tomorrow. I might not even remember the title tomorrow. I'm still like that in some ways, but when I'm actually sitting down, now I'm sitting down with it from the perspective of, what is this? What is the message? What's the story? What are they trying to tell me? What do they want to share with me? And just being able to see it, I feel like I see the characters different, and you have more, I don't know, compassion and understanding from different characters. I was thinking like a Band of Brothers. I was thinking about the nurse, and she gives him chocolate. And, you know, being able to see it from her perspective now too, instead of just watching, you know, you watch it unfold, and you can kind of attach a little bit to each person's emotions. And I think that's a good director, can give you insight to all of those.
Yeah, and they use so many, and that's why when people say the book and the movie are different, well, they have to be. One, you use your imagination to fuel your image, and then your feelings. The words are your feelings, where this is all by camera angle, camera cuts, acting, music.
Right.
Jaws without that music is just another bad shark movie.
Right.
Jaws, the music is 75% of the movie.
But even think about like when they have movies, what's
Star Wars? Star Wars could have been a really cheesy, horrible movie with weird language if it wasn't for
Leonardo DiCaprio. He's doing the stock market, and then he goes up on the Gold Coast on
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yes, and it's back in the 30s, or like it was the penny stocks and stuff like that, and they're all dancing and all this stuff. If you see how some of these movies are made, when they have the ballroom where they have a party scene or their dance floor, sometimes it's silent. And so we don't hear, like, they're having to do that with the music not playing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that even makes a better character. Like the fact that we're watching it from the sound effects. Take all the sound effects away.
That's why I think acting would be horrible.
Yes.
Because sometimes you're doing it in front of a green screen, and you're only doing it to half a person, because now they're adding stuff in.
Yes.
A great movie with Leonardo DiCaprio is The Departed.
Yes. Yes, that was good.
Great movie.
Yes.
There was something else I was going to say when we were... did you ever see The River Wild with Kevin Bacon and River Streep? I thought that was a great movie.
That was good.
Again, that chase. I like a little bit of action. I like a little bit of chase.
Yes, I do too. I like a little bit of drama. A little bit of suspense.
Yes. Deliverance, obviously.
Yes. You sure got pretty tooth. Mike square like a pig. What else do we got?
And that's what I think Quentin Tarantino did really well with his movies. And then I will talk about a movie, another director who does the same thing with it. So Quentin Tarantino uses music. There's a soundtrack very much. Remember Footloose?
Yes. I loved Footloose.
I did like Footloose. And that was a love story.
Because you know what? Again, it spoke to me at that time. It spoke to me like that. Well, I know it was speaking to my inner Robyn. Just that wild, I'm not going to accept, I don't fit in, but I'm not going to accept, and I'm not going to conform either. But I'm just going to do I'm going to do me. I'm going to do my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like watching that. I think like The War of Art, the book.
Yeah.
After reading that, opened my mind to see things from a different perspective and stop and ask myself the question, what is this person trying to tell me?
Mm-hmm.
And watching a movie from that lens is way better than watching it from just entertainment purposes. Because I think that I think you learn from it, and I think you expand your mind and you grow from it.
Guy Ritchie is the British Quentin Tarantino for me.
Yes.
I love Lock, Stock, and Barrel.
Yes.
I loved Snatch.
Yes.
Great. Those two.
Yes.
Really, really great movies.
Oh my gosh, now I got to look up what Guy Ritchie, all of them. You said Quentin Tarantino too, and I was trying to find the one that. Oh, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Samuel Jackson.
Yes.
Oh, Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. And see, I like Kill Bill better than Pulp Fiction by a measure of 100.
All right, I got to watch that. Because every once in a while, Chris and I will put on Pulp Fiction and you just watch it. And I just like the...
You know what I can't stand?
But I love Samuel Jackson.
So I like that movie. I like that movie so much. You know what I can't stand?
What?
Is Bruce Willis's girlfriend. Could they make her any more of a horrible character? I really hate when the women are horrible. Like, they're just... Yeah. So one of the things about Breaking Bad is the wife. You just hate the wife. But she's hate-worthy.
Yeah.
Not because she's a noodly afterthought of a character.
You love to hate her.
You love to hate her.
Yes.
But, so Big Little Lies is a cast of almost... The women are the... Did you see Big Little Lies?
I feel like I did, but we'd have to refresh.
We might have to watch that together
too.
But
Little Lies, I do think
that's a cast of 4 or 5 women in there, the main characters. But each one of them, you might hate one of the characters, but there's a reason why. There's some kind of intensity and force behind it. There's some real reason. The woman character that plays opposite of Bruce Willis, she's like a vapid. She's like a throwaway. I couldn't stand, and every time she's like, "Oh, touch my pot belly," and she's got that whole thing, and blueberry pancakes. Like, how do you not get that? Like, your lives are in danger. Your boyfriend is, through a fight. Like, you don't know anything. You're just lying around in bed waiting for him to have sex with you. Like, you couldn't be any worse of a character. So that she ruins Pulp Fiction from being perfect for me.
Yeah, I get that.
Oh my God, did I hate that woman in that movie?
I get that.
And maybe you're supposed to. Maybe that's the point of her. But, like, I love...
Yeah, that could be.
When who is the actress that stands up as, I'm going to shoot every last one of you. Oh. Bunny. Bunny is the her boyfriend. Hold on.
And they're at the diner.
Yes, they're at the diner. Like, her character.
Yeah,
great.
She does a good
She's
job.
not a throwaway character.
No,
but his girlfriend is such a throwaway character.
Oh, I just had another one before you said that. What was the movie that you said just before that one?
Honey Bunny is her character name in there, and Amanda Plummer is that. And then the Fabian is the girlfriend, who I couldn't stand. Yes. Uma Thurman, she's a great character.
Yes,
and maybe they needed one sucky female character in there, so they just threw in the girlfriend.
Yes. Denzel Washington. I love Denzel Washington.
Yes.
He's
he's had some great movies.
Equalizer.
Okay.
And we just watched one with him. It was an older one. I love he's the bad guy. He's the bad guy he's a cop in LA, and he owes the Russians some money. And he is taking a beat cop. He's taking a beat cop, and he's riding with him to say, hey, do you want to be part of our narcotics unit? You know which one I'm talking about?
Is it American Gang? No, American Gangsters. He's the. No, it's not that one.
It's like oh my gosh, it's like a one, not the Snatch. We just
Fallen. I loved him in Fallen.
Yes, Fallen was.
That's
good.
when the devil leaves the bodies and goes around to the different people and is honed in on him as a cop. And every time the someone goes, "Hey, Hobbs," he knows the devil isn't that guy. And then this little kid,
Yes,
the little kid walks by him and goes, "Hey, Hobbs."
Yes.
That's a great movie.
Yes, he's so
Fallen,
good.
1998. He was in The Crimson Tide, which is a great movie, submarine movie. My favorite submarine movie of all time, The Hunt for Red October.
Yes, that was good.
When we all believed that Sean Connery was a Russian guy with a Scottish accent.
Oh, I gotta find it. I gotta find that thing. It's called like, not Training Day.
Oh, maybe it is right. Training Day.
Training Day. That might be it. We watched that when I was like, oh, that's hard. That was hard for me to watch. That he's a bad guy.
Yeah, because he is such a. You want to like Denzel Washington. American Gangster. That was another good movie with him in it.
Johnny Anchor says he's chiming in. He says he likes Quentin Tarantino's movie, Django Unchained. Jamie Foxx was the.
Yes.
I don't think I got through that one.
So I saw it, but I don't remember it. Now that you say Jamie Foxx is in it, I almost forgot that Jamie Foxx is in it. I think Leonardo DiCaprio's in that one.
I can't remember that.
But to me, Quentin Tarantino movies was Reservoir Dogs. Quentin Tarantino, I believe so.
Oh, Reservoir Dogs was good.
Reservoir Dogs was great.
Yes,
that was a great one. Then to me, Kill Bill. Well, to me, Kill Bill 1 and 2 are the best. Then it's Reservoir Dogs. Then it's Pulp Fiction, and then his other ones trail in for me. But I forgot about.
I was looking
that one, Johnny.
Pulp Fiction. Oh, The Hateful Eight. We started watching that. I think that was horrible. One of the worst movies ever.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like, it's the trailer seemed really good. And,
Don't you hate when they put all the
like
greatest scenes in the trailer?
Yes, some gunslingers in it. And then it just, I don't know. It just went downhill. And I'm like, I can't even watch it.
So do you remember Blade?
Yes.
I liked Blade.
Yes.
With Wesley Snipes. Grandma's Boy. Do you remember Grandma's Boy? That's a comedy. Nick Swartzen. It's about video gamers. And it's their 30-year-old video gamers who are just like boys that never grew up. And they're getting high all the time. Smoking weed all the time. It's a great movie.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. That's all you think.
And I didn't. It's really funny. I didn't like that movie that much.
Which one? That one?
What's the movie where they bring a girl to life? Around that same time period of Bill and Ted's. Okay, keep talking about movies, and I'm going to go look up that movie.
Gosh, I don't know. I was thinking about that. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
And she was married to Steven Seagal, I think, back in the day. Remember Steven Seagal movies?
Yes.
They were not good movies.
Whatever happened to him?
I don't know.
He just went away.
Thank God. Like, Stallone should go away.
So, Chris likes Tin Cup. Is one of his all-time favorites. So, that's a good story. And what's the girl? He's Kevin Costner. I think Kevin Costner's a good actor.
Yes.
He's a great actor. But what's the one where he goes in? He trains during the war. It's the girls' baseball team.
Yeah. A League of Their Own.
Yes.
Is Tom Hanks in that, or is Kevin Costner in that?
I think both of them are in it.
Both of them. Okay.
Now, nobody mentioned like that. What about The Green Mile?
Weird Science was a movie from my childhood where they're like these two geeky kids and they somehow bring this supermodel to life and she loves them.
Yes.
Who's the
I don't think I saw that.
Oh my God.
It just made me Back to the
80s.
Future.
Yep.
Did you like that?
I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as everyone liked it.
I didn't like it.
Yeah. I saw it once and was like, okay.
It's kind of cheesy. Beetlejuice was the same way. I thought that was just...
That almost had a cultish thing to me where I could get into it.
Yes, it could be Pulp Fiction-y, kind of.
Could be.
I don't know.
They remade it.
I think there might have been some funny parts.
Kelly LeBrock is Lisa, who was the supermodel brought to life. It was from 1985. Teen misfits Gary and Wyatt designed their ideal woman on a computer, which was when computers were,
Yeah.
right?
We didn't know
And
what
a
they could
freak
do.
electrical accident brings her to life to form a lovely superhuman Lisa. She outfits Gary and Wyatt in cool clothes, surprises them with a Porsche, and helps them stand up to the jerks. But all the while, they must hide her existence from Chet, which is the big brother. And Chet is Bill Paxton.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And I used to love that movie. It used to be on all the time. I used to love watching that. And that's the underdog comedy
that movie.
sci-fi.
I think I don't like well, it took us forever. I think, Walking Dead had been out for like 10 or 12 years before we actually sat down and watched it. And now I feel like that's ruined it for, I've never been, it's got to be a good sci-fi movie for me to do it. And there are good ones.
So this is not a sci-fi movie, but we just watched this. We have 3 minutes left. The copycat where the kid is copycatting serial killers, and Sigourney Weaver. We just watched that one again. That was from the 90s. And I was laughing because in the movie, its computers are up, but go get that file. She has to do DOS prompts
Yes.
to get the file up.
Okay, I had it and I can never remember the name of it. The FBI movie where they start interviewing serial killers.
Mindhunter.
Yes.
Great series.
Yes. His character's up on Snapchat.
Oh,
That's
is it
the one
really?
I sent you one of us. I didn't learn that in prison or something. I have to pull it up again. He is a phenomenal actor. I cannot remember who his name is. But, okay, so quick question at the end of it.
Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan was good. I think there's some other ones that are a little bit better.
I mean, we didn't even talk about humor ones like Kingpin and Talladega Nights. And
yes.
Bad Santa.
Comedy, yes.
Bad Santa. Best Christmas music.
I love Vince Vaughn.
I do love Vince Vaughn, too.
So I try to watch movies with Vince Vaughn and who's Talladega Nights? Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
I love Will Ferrell. Like, those are my boys. I was trying to think of the one where they did...
What was the movie with Eddie Murphy and he's all the different characters? And he's fat and he's trying to go on a diet and he does the science to try to make himself thin.
Blubber? Oh, The Nutty Professor.
The Nutty Professor.
Yeah, because he does do
Hercules.
Blubber, Hercules. That one in Medea. Tyler Perry plays Medea, and so she's got some more. You watch it more for the funny lines.
I think we're out.
Yeah. So check us if you have a favorite movie that you want to share. Hit us up.
Yeah, put it on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram.
Yep.
And tune in next Thursday where we will be here from 10 to noon on WSMN, 1590 AM, 95.3 FM, and on WSMN.live, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. Don't forget to like and subscribe those because they help us in the algorithm because we kept being shut down for our news being a copyrighted material. So help us out. Thank you, and we'll see you later. Have a good week.
95.3 FM Nashua. Listen, watch, and stream at WSMN.live.
This is a special report from ABC News.